I'm sorry, but one has to go. Not you, PlayStation. You can stay.
So we start off with Super Mario Brothers, and it's one of the most influential platformers of all time. It's been around since the 80s, and it spawned other games like Mario Party and Mario Kart, but the game was pretty simple. It had a simple plot. Princess Peach gets kidnapped by Bowser, you save Princess Peach, and all is right with the Mushroom Kingdom. But in all honesty, between you and me, I think the kidnapping thing was all just a cover-up, and Princess Peach and Bowser were actually
Crash Bandicoot 2. Cortex Strikes Back.
Whoa! Crash Bandicoot, one of my favorite platforming video games of all time, and it was actually my first video game for the PlayStation console. This game had a lot of influence on how we play platforming games today, and for me, this was the first video game I ever played where the main character's back faced the camera for the majority of the playthrough. Crash Bandicoot gave you a lot of variety with a decent amount of difficulty to it, especially on those fast-paced levels that really tested your reflexes. I can't begin to tell you how many times I killed Crash Bandicoot while riding a baby polar bear. It's ridiculous. Donkey Kong Country. Words cannot even begin to describe how much I love this video game series. The original trilogy on the Super Nintendo pushed that gaming console to its very limits, providing us with 3D backgrounds and 3D character models. Visually, this game was beautiful. The music in this game is top notch, and Dave Wise is hands down the music video game composing GOAT. He had this way of meshing music perfectly with the level environments, and as a result, the music provided me with a sense of tension, and the stakes always felt high. I loved it. As far as difficulty goes, this series was one of the hardest games I ever played as a kid. I simply couldn't beat it. But when I came back to it years later as a teenager, let's just say I whooped some serious video game ass. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just listening to these dope Sonic the Hedgehog beats. Fun fact, Michael Jackson actually helped compose the music for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Maybe that's why the music was so damn good. But never mind all of that, this game was fast, it was fun, and it was furious. And yes, that was a pun. One of my favorite things about this video game was the co-op play. If you had a friend and an extra Sega Genesis controller, you could plug it in and have that person play as Tails. The only downside to playing as Tails is the camera only followed Sonic, so if you couldn't keep up, you were basically screwed, which kinda took away the fun as playing as Tails because you never 100% truly felt like you were a part of the game. But if you ever wanted to be a dick and get back at player one, you could simply take one of Sonic's air bulbs in the underwater levels. Serves you right for leaving me behind, you blue menace. The music was dope, the co-op play was fun, and the boss battles at the end of every stage was the icing on the cake. They always gave you something new, something creative, and Tails was always there to sacrifice himself.
We're gonna die! You blue-haired motherfucker!
So I had a lot to think about because I spent hours as a kid playing all 4 of these video games, which I quite enjoyed. But when it was all said and done, Super Mario just didn't provide me with that same level of difficulty that the other games did. As a kid, I always wanted to feel like I was completing something when I beat these games. And the fact that Mario provided you with so many shortcuts like warp tunnels and warp whistles, I would always take that option. Because I just wanted to beat the game and say, yay, I did it. The credits are rolling down the screen, who cares? Plus, a lot of the bosses in the Super Mario series sucked, so there's that. So I'm sorry, Super Mario, but you gotta go. It's just my 2 cents.